They attacked Earth, and the Imperial general announced humanity's return. No one noticed the shadows far beyond the orbit of the moon. No one could see the colossal shapes drifting slowly toward the planet, dark and silent, blocking the stars behind them. Then, without warning, the first strikes came. Massive beams of blue energy cut through the clouds above New York, London, Beijing, and countless other cities. Communications networks went dark. Power grids failed, leaving millions in sudden darkness. The world erupted into chaos as people ran through streets filled with smoke, fire, and panic. Airplanes fell from the sky, and emergency services were overwhelmed before they could even respond. At first, humanity believed it might be some strange natural disaster. Earthquakes, storms, or some rare cosmic event, they had seen many warnings before. But nothing could explain the shapes in orbit. Enormous alien warships, far larger than anything humans had ever built, hovering silently above. Their presence was terrifying yet precise. Each attack struck exactly where it was intended, leaving little doubt that these were not accidents. Dr. Lena Rao, an astrophysicist working at the Global Space Observatory, stared at the readings on her monitor in disbelief. Her hands shook as she tried to process what she was seeing. The patterns of destruction were deliberate, almost as if someone had studied Earth for centuries. "They've been planning this for a long time," she whispered to herself, her voice barely audible over the alarms blaring in the observatory. Around the globe, similar stories unfolded. Soldiers and civilians alike were caught off guard, armies mobilized too slowly. Fighter jets were outmatched. No nation, no alliance could stop the waves of destruction. Entire cities were leveled in minutes, leaving humanity stunned. Amid the chaos, a small, strange signal appeared on Lena's monitor. It was unlike anything she had seen, a holographic message embedded deep in the alien communications network. The message was old yet clear. A man, or something appearing as a man, spoke in a deep, commanding voice. His uniform was unlike any earthly military garb, decorated with symbols humans had never seen. "People of Earth," the voice said, "your time of hiding is over. You are stronger than you know. Humanity is not finished. Its time has come again." The message ended as suddenly as it began, leaving Lena staring at the blank screen. She didn't know whether to feel hope or fear. Who was this Imperial general? And what did he mean by "its time has come again"? While Lena pondered the message, humans everywhere were reacting. Some ran blindly, desperate to escape the alien attacks. Others tried to fight, using whatever weapons they had, from rifles to tanks. They were no match for the alien technology, yet their determination was unmistakable. People helped strangers, shielded children, and carried the injured to safety. In the ruins of Tokyo, a group of survivors worked together to repair a broken communications tower. They were ordinary citizens, engineers, and mechanics who had never held a weapon in their lives. Yet now, in the face of extinction, they became soldiers. With every improvisation, turning construction cranes into barricades, repurposing delivery trucks into armored vehicles, they proved one thing: humans never gave up. On the other side of the world, in Cairo, a group of young scientists discovered that the alien ships had a pattern. Their attacks were fast, destructive, but not random. By studying the energy beams, they began predicting where the next strike would hit. Humanity's intellect, even in despair, began to shine. Lena, realizing the potential, contacted scientists across the globe using any functioning network. Together, they began decoding the alien signals. The message from the Imperial general was a guide. It spoke of a hidden fleet, long dormant, waiting for a threat so massive that ordinary defenses would fail. Humans had built these ships centuries ago, but they were forgotten, hidden in deep space. Only now, when the aliens attacked, could humanity awaken them. The first night of the invasion was the darkest humanity had ever faced. Fires burned in cities across continents. Millions huddled in shelters, afraid to step outside. Yet even in the darkness, small lights flickered. People were helping each other. Doctors risked their lives to save the wounded. Firefighters waded through flames to rescue families. The human spirit, though battered, refused to die. Lena worked tirelessly at the observatory, decoding alien signals and searching for the coordinates of the hidden fleet. She was joined by Captain Marcus Lee, a retired naval officer who had survived the initial strikes. Together, they formed a small command center, linking up with resistance groups worldwide. They realized that to survive, humanity had to act as one. Borders, politics, and old conflicts meant nothing when the species itself was under threat. The aliens continued their attacks, but the humans' understanding grew. They began to anticipate strikes, set up defenses, and even conduct small counterattacks. It was not enough to stop the destruction entirely, but every victory, every city saved, every life spared, strengthened human resolve. On the third day, the Imperial General's message appeared again, this time directly in human communications channels. Holographic images of the general appeared in safe zones around the world, showing tactical advice and instructions on awakening the fleet. His voice carried authority, hope, and a reminder of human potential. "You have survived this long because you are human," he said. "You think, you adapt, you endure. That is why you will rise again. Follow the coordinates, awaken the fleet. Humanity will return stronger than ever." These words ignited a spark. Across the planet, humans started moving with purpose. Engineers repaired old spacecraft, scientists modified satellites into weapons, and soldiers prepared for missions they had never imagined. Ordinary people, driven by fear, hope, and determination, became extraordinary. In New York, a group of teenagers, armed with nothing but courage and a few old drones, sabotaged a supply drop meant for the aliens. In London, civilians created barricades and traps using nothing but everyday objects. Everywhere, humans were thinking differently, improvising, and proving the aliens had underestimated them. Lena and Marcus finally located the first coordinates of the hidden fleet. It was hidden in a secret orbit beyond Pluto, shielded by old gravitational fields and energy cloaks. Humanity had built these ships not for war, but for survival, yet now survival demanded war. "Marcus, this is it," Lena said, her voice trembling with excitement and fear. "This is our chance, we can fight back." Marcus nodded, eyes scanning the stars. "Then we fight, not just for ourselves, but for everyone who ever called Earth home. Humanity doesn't end here." The first part of the story ends with the alien ships still hovering above Earth, their attacks relentless, yet for the first time, humans were no longer simply running. They were organizing, they were fighting, they were beginning to awaken. And in the distance, the hidden fleet awaited, a silent promise that humanity's time had indeed come again. Even in the face of annihilation, hope had returned. Humanity, once cornered and broken, was ready to rise. The first strike had shattered cities and spirits, but it could not destroy human courage. And in that courage, the seeds of a global resistance and the eventual return of humanity to the stars were planted. The hidden fleet was not a myth. As Lena Rao and Captain Marcus Lee guided the world's remaining engineers, pilots, and scientists toward the ancient coordinates, hope flickered across the globe. People who had once feared for their lives now moved with purpose, united by a single goal: to awaken humanity's dormant power and fight back against the alien invaders. The journey to the fleet was perilous. Earth's orbit was still crawling with alien warships, scanning for any signs of human movement. Communications were patchy at best, forcing teams to rely on ingenuity. Old satellites, long forgotten, were repurposed to create temporary relay networks. Civilian ships, cargo freighters, and even space shuttles were retrofitted with armor and weapons scavenged from abandoned military depots. Humanity was improvising on a scale never seen before, turning ordinary objects into tools of survival. Lena stood on the bridge of the first lead ship, her eyes scanning the stars. The Imperial General's holographic figure appeared beside her, projected in 3 dimensions. His presence was commanding, yet oddly comforting. "Humans," he said, his voice deep and resonant. "You have survived the first strike. That is proof that your species is capable of more than even you realize. The fleet you seek was built for moments like this. It is time to awaken it and reclaim your place among the stars." Marcus stepped forward, gripping the railing of the bridge. "We're ready. Tell us what to do." The general nodded. "You will need to synchronize the fleet's core systems. They were designed to awaken as a single entity. Coordination is key. Use your intelligence, your adaptability, and your courage. Alone, these ships are formidable. Together, they are unstoppable." The first fleet ship emerged from its energy cloaking field beyond Pluto. Its hull gleamed in the distant sunlight, sleek and silent. Yet it had been dormant for centuries, its systems locked, engines cold, and crew absent. Humanity had no crew in the traditional sense. They would become the first human pilots to command these ancient vessels. Engineers began the long process of reactivating the fleet. Lena worked tirelessly on decoding the ship's AI, learning how to interface human knowledge with technology far beyond contemporary understanding. Pilots like Marcus trained with simulations, memorizing maneuvers designed for three-dimensional combat in deep space. Even civilians contributed. Coders rewrote programs, mechanics repaired engines, and scientists optimized energy systems. Every skill mattered and every person became essential. Weeks passed, and the first ship finally roared to life. Its engines glowed with blue energy as ancient systems hummed in harmony with modern controls. Marcus took the pilot's seat, hands steady despite the weight of expectation. "This is it," he said. "We are no longer hiding. Humanity is rising." Lena's fingers danced across the console, interpreting alien signals captured from the invaders' network. She discovered patterns that no one on Earth had noticed before. The aliens relied heavily on predictive algorithms. They assumed humans were slow, predictable, and unable to respond quickly under pressure. That assumption would soon prove fatal. "Marcus," she said, eyes fixed on the screen, "they think we will panic, but humans adapt. We are unpredictable. That is our advantage." The first coordinated counterattack was planned carefully. Small, retrofitted ships would strike at alien supply lines and communication hubs, weakening the invaders while minimizing human losses. Drones were launched, satellites reprogrammed, and space debris transformed into weapons. Humanity was using creativity as its sharpest blade. The operation began at dawn. Earth's skies above were still under alien occupation, but humans were no longer running blindly. Pilots navigated through asteroid fields and orbital debris to approach alien platforms. Civilians monitored energy signatures, guiding the fleet's strikes with precision. The first victory came when a group of human pilots, flying the ancient fleet ships, disabled an alien supply station orbiting Mars. The aliens had never anticipated the attack from that angle. Explosions rippled across the station, sending shards of metal into the void. Humanity cheered, not just for destruction, but for the proof that they could fight back. News spread quickly across the surviving pockets of civilization. Across Earth, people felt hope for the first time since the initial strike. Small victories became symbols of resilience. In Paris, civilians rebuilt defensive turrets from old machinery. In Moscow, engineers developed devices to intercept alien communications. Across continents, humanity began to unite, not just as citizens of their countries, but as humans defending their species. Yet even as victories mounted, challenges arose. The aliens adapted, learning from human tactics, launching counterattacks to reclaim lost ground. Entire human fleets had to maneuver carefully to avoid destruction. Every battle was tense, every decision crucial. Yet humans refused to surrender. Their resourcefulness, intelligence, and courage turned the tide in ways the aliens could not anticipate. Lena and Marcus led a daring mission to capture one of the alien command satellites. Using predictive algorithms she developed, Lena guided the fleet through dangerous asteroid belts and alien patrols. Humans boarded the satellite using small, agile ships, evading defenses and installing hacking devices to turn the alien system against them. The operation was a success. Humans gained access to alien strategic data, allowing them to anticipate attacks on Earth and plan further countermeasures. Civilians and soldiers alike celebrated, recognizing that even the smallest human action could have galaxy-wide consequences. The Imperial general appeared once more, his holographic figure stretching across the command deck of the fleet. "You see," he said, "humans are not defined by fear. You are defined by your courage, your creativity, and your ability to endure. The galaxy has underestimated you for too long. That is about to change." With the fleet now fully operational, humanity's presence in space was no longer passive. Retrofits continued, new tactics were tested, and communication networks expanded to connect Earth and the fleet. The aliens, once confident in their conquest, began to notice something terrifying. Humans were no longer the prey, they were hunters. In a quiet moment aboard the flagship, Marcus looked out at the stars. "We've come so far, Lena. From hiding in basements to commanding ships built centuries ago, it feels incredible." Lena nodded, her mind already working on the next strategy. "This is just the beginning. The aliens have underestimated us every step of the way. But if we keep learning, adapting, and working together, we can change everything. Meanwhile, on Earth, small pockets of human resistance continued to rise. In villages, towns, and cities untouched by direct strikes, people began preparing for the inevitable return of alien scouts. They trained, fortified, and studied, inspired by the successes of the fleet. Humanity was awakening not just in space, but on its home planet. By the end of the second part, Earth was no longer a planet under siege. It was a planet preparing to fight. Humanity had awakened its hidden strength, using ingenuity, courage, and unity to stand against an enemy thought unstoppable. The Imperial general's words echoed in every corner. Humanity is not finished. Its time has come again. And for the first time in decades, humans believed it. Even as alien warships lingered in orbit, humanity had learned a crucial lesson: survival was not enough. Humans would fight. Humans would endure. Humans would rise. Lena, Marcus, and the newly awakened fleet prepared for the next phase, taking the battle to the enemy, striking not just to survive, but to reclaim what had been taken. And in the hearts of every human on Earth, in orbit and beyond, burned a single unshakable truth: humanity would return stronger, smarter, and unbroken. The stars themselves seemed to watch, and perhaps they understood. Something new had begun. The age of human fear was ending. The age of human courage had arrived. Humanity had awakened. The hidden fleet was alive, the skies of Earth were defended, and hope had returned. Yet the war was far from over. The aliens were still powerful, still relentless, and still determined to crush humanity before it could fully rise. But humans had learned something the invaders had never counted on: unpredictability. Lena Rao stared at the map of alien movements projected in the command room of the flagship. Each blinking dot represented thousands of enemy troops, thousands of weapons, and thousands of lives determined to destroy humanity. And yet humans had begun to strike back, not with raw power alone, but with strategy, creativity, and courage. "We have to hit their command stations," she said, her voice calm but urgent. "If we can disrupt their coordination, we can turn their attacks into chaos." Marcus Lee, the fleet's lead pilot, nodded. "We've done smaller strikes successfully. Now it's time for a major operation. This is our turning point." The Imperial general appeared beside them as a hologram, his voice echoing across the bridge. "Humans, your adaptability is your greatest weapon. The enemy expects linear thinking. They do not expect you to combine old tactics with new technology. Use this. Strike boldly. Strike smartly." The fleet prepared for its first large-scale offensive. It was no longer just a defensive operation. Humanity was going on the attack. Pilots trained for days on maneuvers that humans had never attempted before, blending classical dogfighting strategies with the alien technology they had captured. Civilian engineers and scientists worked alongside military strategists to develop new weapons: drones that could mimic alien ships, satellites converted into mobile attack platforms, and energy shields built from a combination of old Earth technology and alien materials. The plan was audacious. Humanity would split the fleet into multiple groups, each targeting a different segment of the alien network. While one team drew the aliens into a trap, another would infiltrate a communication hub to disrupt their command signals. Simultaneously, smaller human squads would board alien supply stations and disable them from within. Every human, from soldier to civilian, had a role. Every action mattered. Lena and Marcus led the central strike team. They moved their flagship through an asteroid field, using the rocks as cover to avoid alien detection. The human pilots were nervous, but excitement and determination burned brighter. For the first time, humanity was not simply surviving, they were taking the fight to the enemy. As they approached the alien command station, the enemy reacted, sending waves of fighter drones to intercept them. But the humans had anticipated this. Using a combination of cloaking maneuvers, sudden accelerations, and decoy drones, they tricked the aliens into overextending their defenses. One by one, the alien drones fell, confused and outmaneuvered by humans who refused to follow predictable patterns. Inside the flagship, Lena worked alongside the AI systems of the fleet. She had adapted human intuition to the ship's centuries-old systems, creating a link between thought and machine. Every command she gave was executed instantly, every calculation precise. It was human intelligence and ingenuity amplified, a combination the aliens could not understand. When they reached the command hub, Marcus piloted the ship through a narrow docking bay. Engineers attached hacking devices to the alien systems while small boarding teams neutralized defenses. Lena monitored the data streams, deciphering alien protocols in real time. It was a delicate balance. One mistake could destroy the entire mission. But humans thrived under pressure. Boarding teams worked with precision and speed. Engineers bypassed alien security protocols with a mixture of intuition and logic. And as the main system was taken over, the alien fleet suddenly began to falter. Communications were scrambled, supply lines interrupted, and morale among the invaders plummeted. The first major victory sent ripples across humanity. Earth's survivors celebrated as news of the operation spread. For the first time, humans saw tangible proof that they could fight the aliens and win. Soldiers, civilians, engineers, and pilots alike felt a surge of pride. Humanity was turning the tide. Meanwhile, in orbit above Earth, smaller skirmishes erupted as alien forces tried to regain control. Human pilots, using lessons learned from previous encounters, adapted quickly. They employed feints, traps, and unexpected maneuvers. They used the environment, asteroid belts, magnetic fields, and even planetary gravity as weapons. Every encounter showcased human creativity and resilience. Lena discovered another critical advantage. By analyzing the intercepted alien communications, she could predict attack patterns and reveal hidden weaknesses. Humans used this knowledge to launch preemptive strikes, often before the aliens even realized they were under threat. Every prediction, every adaptation increased human confidence. Humanity had become an unpredictable, formidable force. The Imperial general addressed the fleet once again. "Humans, you have done well, but remember, this is not merely a battle of firepower. It is a battle of wit, will, and courage. You have learned to adapt, to survive, to outthink the enemy. That is what makes you strong. That is what will allow humanity to reclaim its place among the stars." With renewed determination, the humans launched a coordinated assault on multiple alien outposts. Every group had a role. Some disrupted energy grids, others captured ships, and a few struck at critical supply depots. By working together, humanity created chaos among the invaders. Alien commanders struggled to respond, unable to predict the unconventional strategies humans employed. On Earth, civilians continued to contribute. Engineers repaired ships and weapons damaged in combat. Scientists developed countermeasures for alien technology. And everywhere, humans shared knowledge and resources, proving that survival depended not on one person, but on the entire species. The turning point came during a daring mission to disable a massive alien warship, the flagship coordinating attacks in the system. Marcus and his pilots infiltrated the ship's perimeter, using stealth and cunning to avoid detection. Lena remotely guided the team, analyzing patterns and providing real-time adjustments. The operation was intense and dangerous. Explosions rocked the enemy vessel as humans planted charges and disabled critical systems. The aliens fought back fiercely, but the humans' unpredictability and coordination gave them the edge. Every human action complemented another, creating a chain of success that no alien technology could disrupt. By the end of the mission, the alien flagship was crippled. Its destruction sent shockwaves through the enemy ranks. Alien forces retreated, regrouping in confusion. Humanity had not just survived, it had demonstrated the ability to strike decisively and intelligently, even against a technologically superior foe. The victory was more than tactical, it was symbolic. Humans had shown the galaxy that they were resourceful, brave, and united. Earth was no longer a planet on the brink of destruction. It was the center of a resurgence, a symbol of hope for countless beings watching from afar. The Imperial general appeared once more, his hologram filling the flagship's bridge. "Humans, you have proven your worth. Your courage, creativity, and unity have allowed you to take the first major step toward reclaiming your place in the galaxy. But know this, the fight is far from over. Your enemies are strong and they will strike back. Continue to adapt, continue to endure, continue to rise." Lena looked out at the stars, her eyes reflecting the distant glow of alien warships retreating. "We've come so far," she said softly, "and yet there is still so much to do. But now we know we can win." Marcus placed a hand on her shoulder. We've learned their weaknesses, seen our strengths, and proved what humanity is capable of. The next battle will be bigger, harder, but we are ready. The galaxy will remember this moment, the moment humanity began its return. Across Earth and the newly awakened fleet, humans celebrated and prepared simultaneously. Cities and colonies rebuilt defenses, scientists enhanced technology, and pilots trained relentlessly. Every person knew that the turning point had been reached, but that the war was far from over. Humanity had awakened, but now they had to strike decisively, carrying courage, intelligence, and unity into every battle. And so, as the alien forces regrouped, humans prepared to take the fight to them. Every victory, every strategy, and every act of courage had changed the course of the war. Humanity had turned the tide. No longer were they the hunted, they were the hunters. The Imperial general's prophecy had begun to come true. Humanity was returning not just to defend Earth, but to reclaim its place among the stars. Even in the cold darkness of space, the lights of human ships burned bright. Humanity had awakened, and nothing would stop its return. The humans had turned the tide, but the war was far from over. The alien forces, shaken by the unexpected human victories, were gathering their strength for a decisive strike. Massive warships moved through the void like predators preparing to crush their prey. Earth's orbit was soon swarming with enemy fleets, their weapons glowing ominously, ready to finish what they had started. Yet humanity was ready. The awakened fleet, under the guidance of the Imperial general, had grown in coordination, power, and ingenuity. Every ship, every pilot, and every civilian-turned soldier knew their role. Humans were no longer acting alone. They were acting as one organism, each part supporting the other. Lena Rao stood on the command deck of the flagship, eyes fixed on the holographic map of the battlefield. The Imperial general appeared beside her in holographic form, his presence calm and commanding. "The enemy believes they can overwhelm you with force," he said, "but they cannot match your creativity, your courage, or your adaptability. Today you will prove that humans do not bow to fear. Today humanity will fight and the galaxy will see its strength." Marcus Lee, standing near Lena, clenched his fists. "We've trained for this. We've planned for this. Now it's time to show the aliens that Earth is not theirs to take." The battle began at dawn. Alien ships descended toward Earth's orbit, their engines leaving trails of deadly energy across the darkness of space. On the surface, humans watched in tense anticipation, ready to activate planetary defenses. The first salvo of alien fire struck near lunar orbit, aiming to destroy human communication satellites. But humans had anticipated it. Civilians and engineers had reactivated old satellites, transforming them into mobile energy shields and weapon platforms. Drones buzzed around the attack zone, intercepting beams and diverting fire. Human ingenuity turned the aliens' assault into an opportunity, forcing their ships into pre-calculated traps. The first human attack came from the retrofitted fleet. Ships darted through asteroid belts and planetary debris, appearing where the aliens least expected. Pilots executed maneuvers that seemed impossible, weaving between energy beams, flipping in three-dimensional space, and using gravity fields as weapons. Each strike was precise, each decision calculated, each action unexpected. Humanity had become unpredictable and the aliens were confused. Lena monitored the battlefield from the flagship's bridge. She had spent weeks analyzing alien strategies, and now she used that knowledge to guide human forces. "Left flank, increase speed by 20%. "Fire at that point. They're overloading their shields," she commanded. Every order was met with instant execution, the fleet moving as one coordinated organism. Below, on Earth, humans activated atmospheric defenses for the first time in centuries. Old missile silos and defense satellites formed a protective grid, intercepting alien dropships and fighter craft. Cities that had been destroyed were no longer defenseless. Humans were fighting back with every tool at their disposal. As the battle escalated, the aliens unleashed their full power. Massive energy cannons fired across orbit, targeting entire sections of human fleets. Waves of fighter drones swarmed the skies, yet humans continued to adapt. Pilots used decoy drones, fake signals, and sudden evasive maneuvers to avoid destruction. Engineers rapidly repaired damaged ships, while scientists devised energy redirection systems to turn enemy fire back against them. The Imperial general guided the humans through the chaos. "Do not fear their power," he said. "It is strong but predictable. Use your mind, your heart, and your courage. That is your true weapon." One of the most daring maneuvers came when Marcus Lee led a squadron directly toward the alien command ship. Using the planet's gravity, they slingshot around Earth to approach the flagship from an unexpected angle. The alien forces were caught off guard, unable to target the humans accurately. Meanwhile, Lena directed a group of engineers to hack alien systems remotely. They infiltrated the command ship's energy grid, causing localized malfunctions and confusion. Alien weapons fired at empty space, while human pilots moved unharmed through their formations. Humanity's ability to combine intelligence, courage, and technology was unmatched. The battle raged for hours. Explosions illuminated the darkness of space, and the hum of engines filled the void. Each side fought with everything it had, but humans had learned to turn every disadvantage into an advantage. On Earth, civilians participated in ways no one had imagined. Engineers and students modified construction drones into weapons platforms. Farmers and miners built defensive barriers from raw materials. Teachers and scientists coordinated data networks to predict alien attacks. Every human contribution added to the larger effort. Every small action mattered. As the alien flagship weakened, the human fleet coordinated a final, decisive strike. Using energy redirection technology and predictive algorithms developed by Lena, humans struck simultaneously at critical points in the alien ship. Marcus and his pilots infiltrated the vessel, planting charges and disabling power systems from within. The flagship erupted in a brilliant explosion, its destruction sending shockwaves through the alien fleet. Other enemy ships, lacking coordination and morale, began to retreat. Humanity had won the great battle, not through brute force alone, but through intelligence, courage, unity, and adaptability. The Imperial general's voice echoed across the fleet. "Humans, you have done what many believed impossible. You have faced overwhelming power, adapted, and emerged victorious. Remember this moment. The galaxy has underestimated you for too long. You are not victims. You are warriors, thinkers, and survivors. You are humanity." Lena and Marcus watched the remaining alien ships flee. "We've done it," Marcus said quietly, "but we can't stop here. They will come back. They always come back." Lena nodded, her eyes scanning the horizon of space. "We will be ready. Humanity has shown its strength, and now we must prepare for what comes next. But for today, we celebrate this victory. We've earned it." Across Earth, humans cheered. They had survived the greatest attack in history and had proven that their ingenuity and courage were stronger than fear. Children looked up at the stars with hope, and adults worked tirelessly to rebuild what was lost. Humanity had awakened, not only in space but in spirit. The victory was monumental. Cities were scarred but defended. The fleet was battle-tested but alive. Humans had shown the galaxy that they were not a species to be crushed, but one to be respected. Every person, pilot, engineer, and civilian had contributed to the turning point, proving that courage, creativity, and unity could overcome even the most formidable enemy. As night fell over Earth, Lena and Marcus stood side by side, gazing at the stars. "This is just the beginning," Lena said softly. "We've won today, but tomorrow will bring new challenges. The aliens will return, and the galaxy is vast." "But now we know something we didn't before." Marcus turned to her. "What's that?" Lena smiled, determination in her eyes. "That humanity is unstoppable. We are not just survivors. We are fighters, thinkers, and dreamers. We are humans, and we have returned." The Imperial general appeared one last time in their field of vision. "Remember this day, humans. Let it remind you that your courage, creativity, and unity are unmatched. You have survived the impossible. The galaxy will see your return, and no force will ignore it again." With that, he vanished, leaving humans to celebrate their victory while preparing for the challenges ahead. The great battle had been won, but the war was far from over. Yet Earth's defenders, strengthened by courage, intelligence, and unity, were ready. The lights of the human fleet glowed in the darkness of space, a beacon of hope for the planet below. Humanity had proven that they could face overwhelming odds and rise above them. They had awakened not only their hidden fleet, but their true potential. And as the alien forces retreated into the distance, one undeniable truth filled every human heart. The return of humanity had begun, and nothing would stop it. The alien threat had been driven from Earth's orbit. The skies were quiet for the first time in weeks. Fires still burned in cities, debris floated across once bustling streets, and survivors walked among the ruins, weary but alive. Yet humanity had changed. The humans who remained were no longer ordinary. They were warriors, thinkers, builders, and survivors. They were the humans who had faced annihilation and refused to bow. On the flagship, Lena Rao and Marcus Lee stood side by side, gazing at the stars. The fleet, though battered, was alive and operational. Ships moved in formation around Earth, a silent promise that humanity would defend its home, no matter what came next. The Imperial general appeared as a hologram once more, his voice calm, deep, and proud. "You have survived the impossible," he said. "You have fought not only with your strength, but with your mind. You have proven that humanity is capable of far more than even you believed. Now your return begins." Lena turned to Marcus. "A return, yes, but what does that really mean?" Marcus smiled grimly. "It means we're no longer just hiding on a single planet. It means humanity has shown that it can survive, fight, and lead. The galaxy will know us now not as prey, but as equals." On Earth, the message of victory spread quickly. For the first time in decades, humans saw hope in their streets. Cities that had been devastated were being rebuilt. Communities came together to share knowledge, resources, and labor. The survivors of the alien attack were now leaders, teachers, engineers, and soldiers working side by side. Humans had discovered the greatest weapon they possessed: unity. Lena returned to her laboratory to continue analyzing the alien technology they had captured. She had learned more in weeks than she had in years of research. Alien energy systems, once incomprehensible, were now partially understood and even adapted for human use. The knowledge would accelerate progress on Earth and throughout the fleet. Humans had turned tools of destruction into tools of innovation. Meanwhile, Marcus and other pilots prepared for patrols beyond Earth's orbit. They trained new recruits, civilians who had never flown a ship in their lives but were eager to defend their home. The fleet had become a school, a proving ground, and a symbol of humanity's rebirth. Every human was part of the larger mission, not just survival but thriving. The Imperial general's presence was no longer constant. He had accomplished his task, awakening humanity. Now he appeared only to advise when humans faced threats truly beyond their current reach. His final words lingered in the minds of those who had fought. "Humanity is its own strength now. You must guide yourselves, defend yourselves, and grow. Your time has come. Remember what you have learned. Courage, unity, and intelligence will carry you further than any weapon ever could." As weeks passed, humanity expanded its reach. The fleet explored nearby star systems, scouting for any signs of returning alien forces. Humans established colonies on Mars, rebuilt space stations, and repaired orbital defenses. Each settlement became a center of knowledge, creativity, and training, preparing for any future conflict. Earth, too, was changing. Cities were rebuilt with stronger designs, integrating alien technology to improve sustainability, energy, and security. The scars of battle remained, but they were reminders of the resilience and determination that had saved the species. Humans walked among the ruins with pride, knowing that every brick laid, every structure repaired, was an act of defiance against the forces that had tried to destroy them. Lena developed new technology using a combination of human innovation and alien systems. Satellites capable of energy redirection, communication networks that could span planets, and advanced defense shields became part of Earth's new infrastructure. Humans were no longer simply reacting to threats. They were preparing for the future, confident in their ability to survive and adapt. Marcus oversaw the fleet's training programs. Pilots, engineers, and strategists learned to think creatively, to adapt quickly, and to act with courage. No one assumed the galaxy would remain peaceful. Every human understood that vigilance and preparation were now part of their identity. But unlike before, fear no longer ruled them. Humans had discovered that they could rise from the ashes, stronger than ever. The story of the great battle and the return of humanity became legend. Children learned about the courage of ordinary people who had stood against overwhelming odds. Scientists and engineers taught the next generation about creativity, intelligence, and problem-solving. Humanity's history was rewritten not as a tale of near destruction, but as a story of triumph, resilience, and awakening. On the flagship, Marcus spoke to Lena one quiet evening. "We did it, Lena. We defended Earth, and we've begun a new chapter for humanity. But this is just the beginning. Lena nodded, her gaze on the stars. Yes, the galaxy is vast. There are challenges we cannot even imagine yet. But we've learned something vital. Humanity does not wait. Humanity acts, we think, we adapt, we endure, and we will not be forgotten. The Imperial general appeared one final time, his hologram stretching across the bridge. Remember, humans, the galaxy respects those who act with courage and wisdom. You have awakened your power. Now it is up to you to lead, to protect, and to grow. The universe will remember your return. Humanity's return was not about conquest or domination. It was about survival, resilience, and proving that intelligence, courage, and unity could overcome the greatest challenges. Humans now look to the stars not with fear, but with curiosity, confidence, and determination. Colonies thrived on Mars and the moons of Jupiter, and exploratory missions extended beyond the solar system. Humanity shared knowledge, built alliances, and prepared for threats that might emerge from the darkness of space. Each step forward was a testament to human ingenuity and determination. Even as humans rebuilt and expanded, they never forgot the lessons of the invasion. Every city, every fleet ship, and every educational institution carried the story of courage, adaptability, and unity. Humans remembered that the greatest victories were not just about weapons. They were about intelligence, creativity, and the will to survive. On Earth, the people stood together, united across nations, cultures, and beliefs. The invasion had shown that when humanity worked as one, there was no force too great, no enemy too strong. Humans had reclaimed their home, proven their resilience, and begun a journey that would take them beyond the stars. Lena and Marcus stood on the observation deck of the flagship one final time, watching Earth rotate slowly beneath them. Cities glimmered with lights, energy grids hummed, and humans moved with purpose. The planet was scarred but alive, protected by the fleet and inspired by the courage of its people. "Do you think we're ready for whatever comes next?" Marcus asked. Lena smiled. "We're always ready. Humans have learned that the impossible can be overcome with courage, creativity, and unity. We are not just survivors, we are humanity, and humanity has returned." As the stars stretched infinitely before them, the human fleet moved forward, a shining testament to the species' resilience. Earth was safe for now, but more importantly, humanity had proven its strength, ingenuity, and courage. No enemy could underestimate humans again. The Imperial general's final words echoed in every mind aboard the fleet. Humanity has returned, stronger, wiser, and united. Remember this always, the stars are yours to explore, to protect, and to call home. You are humans, you endure, you rise. And you will never be forgotten. And with that, humanity's return was complete. The planet, the fleet, and the species itself had survived annihilation and emerged stronger, wiser, and ready to face the galaxy with courage, unity, and intelligence. The era of fear was over. The era of human triumph had begun. The story of Earth's darkest hour had become a story of humanity's brightest triumph. And from that day forward, humans would never be underestimated again. The stars were no longer a distant dream. They were a challenge, a promise, and a playground for a species that had proven beyond doubt that it could endure anything, adapt to any threat, and rise above any obstacle. Humanity had returned, and this time it would not be ignored.